live.
There we go.
What
Fired
is
up.
Yes.
Hello, Friday.
Yeah, dude, we're dialed in.
We are.
We got good picture. We got good sound.
We're great. Now we just got to come up with the words.
Yeah, content is suspect.
Yes, content is absolutely sus.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, we were saying earlier, good audio is 80%.
100%.
Because it's like, I tap out. 80% of it's 100% of the time. It's 80% of the battle.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So, dude, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
More stage.
We're getting ramped up. Last couple weeks were good, and man,
dude.
the next I was doing my calendar for the next 4 months, and man, here till the second week of December, it's crazy. We're all over the place. We're in Alaska. We're in Florida a couple times. We're in Utah. We're going everywhere,
dude. I love it.
So yeah, we got tons of events. We got one this next week. We're doing. I mean, we ramped.
Is next week the Tyler?
This coming week is E4, E5.
Oh, yeah.
Which is going to be great. Tyler was a couple. Yeah, so we're
okay.
getting, we already did Tyler. You were. I'm pretty sure you were there. It was great. Yep, there we go.
Okay, I'm here. Right, be here now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here, yeah.
I'm curious. Do you ever have Speaking of that, there's so much stuff on the calendar. So and so many things that we are dovetailing together.
Yes.
So Corey and Corey at random, we're doing the entry level video class. We're going to do
Nice.
second Tuesdays of every month at Cherry Creek.
Awesome.
And so, just out of curiosity, I'll throw one at you.
Yeah.
Do you ever do like a 1 hour kind of intro thing?
For
Just the coaching or the mindset
absolutely.
or the
All the time. Yeah.
Because I would love to do something like even if
That'd
you
be
did
cool.
it bi-monthly or quarterly.
Yeah.
Okay, he's on the hook.
That'd be great. I love it.
Well, and
Well, I'm talking about like the decisions you got to make, in kind of the mindset, I mean, usually it's 3 parts, right? Mindset, skill set, tool set. So kind of evaluating where we are right now. And with the market the way it is, it's different than it was. And most people haven't really pivoted. A lot of people are still doing what they were doing. It's like, it's not as effective.
As evidenced by all of the, price reduction, just the standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is never been here before.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And if you haven't been in the market, if you weren't in the market prior to 2020, you are unfamiliar with the market not catching you, right? So back in the day, you could list, the last 3-4 years, you could list it whatever, and the market would kind of eventually catch your house and you'd be fine. Now it's like we're in more of a stable market. You're on the market for 3-4 weeks. People are like, what's wrong with that? And people are like, oh, we'll drop it, $4,000. And it's like nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's like when you've swiped left, you're not coming back, right? So like the plastic surgery that has to happen for you to reconsider that investment, right? And that's what people don't realize. Like if your home's on the market for 2, 3, 4 weeks, you've got to have a dramatic relaunch of that.
Yes.
In order to really get people to pay attention to it, or you can just let it sit there forever. But there's several options. But most people haven't had to get this skilled on the seller side as we need to be right now.
Absolutely.
So it's a fun conversation. But you got to get really strategic with it. So
well, and see it like at the masterclass, a lot of the questions were coming from the audience of like, hey, how do I, refresh my content, or how do I keep everybody abreast of? Oh no, this one 123 Main Street is still up for sale.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so Tanner and I had been brainstorming on some different things. And so we have this idea of like a broker open, but not the standard, hey, it's mimosas and whatever, but it's actually like a content broker open. And we've done 2 of them and that's are interesting. Killer, where it's like, okay. But
come check out the house. We're going to help you create some content.
Yes.
That's sexy as hell.
But it has
That's
to be,
awesome.
it would dial right into your abundance mindset or we're like, okay, I can't feel threatened by
other agents doing this. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And so the idea is, okay, so if we set the bar at 15 people, and
dude, that's amazing.
So what we did 2 times was 15, and then actually more people showed up. So we ended up at one point in time like with 18 or 21 pieces of content. But the idea is we've already shot the listing. So we've already got the standard operating procedure of content where it's like, oh, here's the social media reel, here's the drone footage, here's the whatever. Well, then we bring in people, and like Corey is great at this for like gassing people up to get on camera. Right. Almost like a pep rally where, okay, they're about to go in and fight.
Yes, we got this.
Okay, you got this, you got this, you got this. And send them in and just, go get them. But we line it up assembly line style because we've already got we've got a puppy.
I know. I'm glad it's not translating all the way over, but yes.
Yeah, it's tugging my heartstrings. So if I get this doe-eyed look, I'm just looking at Wayne's little cute dog. But we have like 15 to 20 people show up.
Yeah.
And think of it as like book covers, front cover, back
absolutely.
cover,
and just fill in the middle.
Yes, and then we've already got the middle piece done. Yes. And then they create content, and so what that does is that's 15 spheres that your listing is going to go out to that
absolutely.
You don't have any chance of getting in front of. Right. And in today's world, especially, on social media, if you're at a thing or if you're doing a thing, everybody assumes that that's your thing.
That's your thing. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And just own it and go for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so for the buy side agent, it gives a piece of content that kind of makes you look like a listing agent.
Yes.
So it's a no-brainer. And of course we would follow all the legal rigmarole and procedural stuff or whatever. Yep. So we're not doing a 3-card Monty on whose listing it is, but it is a massive booster shot for visibility.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
And so that's one of the things. And then the other is just a refresh where the agent comes back and kind of revisits, and it could be
and you do it like if it's been on the market a couple weeks, you need to do a massive. You need to think of it as a relaunch of that listing. How do I relaunch it? Right, new pictures, new wording, new whatever. I got to do a dramatic price, change whatever's. But you can't just kind of chase the market down, which most people are doing. They're just dropping the price down and they're chasing it down, and it's going to be brutal. So you got to get really aggressive with it.
I've never seen the market adjust in real time like it has been now. And it's now they say rates are going to, the Fed's going to drop rates next month. Yeah. So we'll see what that does.
We'll see. Yeah. But I think too, like, and Grills is Great had a great talk about this last week. But one of the things that I think that they did a great job talking about was don't wait for feedback. Like there's so many agents like put it on the market. Oh yeah. And then they like wait for feedback. Like, oh, they don't like the carpet. It's like, yeah, if you didn't know that when you took the listing, you're an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the carpet
or if you are house blind, right, you need to hire a stager to come in and help deliver some of that bad news. Because the reality is so many agents are like waiting for feedback because they don't want to have the tough conversation or they're not educated enough to have the conversation.
They don't want to lose the listing.
Yes. So you got to get great at having that tough conversation right after that. And that's what they need from you. Hey, carpet's terrible. Hey, this price thing you do it. Hey, we like you've got to get. I'm not saying be unkind, but you've got to do a great job at the beginning and not wait for feedback or hide behind feedback because then it's too late.
And if you already know, so this presupposes that the agent knows what they're doing. If you already know and you don't say something, now you're the bad guy. Yeah, now you are doing a disservice.
Yeah, they're like, I can't believe people don't like this next to the highway. It's like, if you didn't talk about that day one, like, you're a terrible agent.
Right. Yeah. It backs up to Preston.
Yeah, I don't know why people don't like the 4-inch shag carpet. It's really shocking to me. It's like, they're like, you're obviously an idiot.
Yeah. There we go. And we do that often, on the content side. Sometimes it's like, hey, can we live stream this fill in the blank?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe. Then it becomes a matter of, well, if I say yes just because I want to do the thing and then it turns out to be terrible, well, then that's on me.
Yes.
And there have been times where, you would say like, oh, the lighting is awful, or this is not going to look good, or you might want to just record this and send it later. Puppy.
I know.
What's the dog's name?
Lulu. So adorable. Oh, I know. Dude. It's crazy. Oh.
But what could help is...
So here's the thing, and I'm just going to skip right to it. And these are the 4 biggest ways to screw up your year right now, and these have been true for a while, but they're very true right now. One is like the first is like staying in resistance and resentment, and I think there's so many people right now like, we should be able to get this price. It's like, based on what?
Right.
Or like, I'm so sorry, interest rates or whatever. It's like, why are you resisting and then resenting reality? Right. Yes. So it's like, just embrace like, hey, here's what, like, let's just embrace reality.
These are the conditions.
Yes. So many people are stuck in resistance and resentment, and it's like, it's not helping anybody. Then the second one is avoiding tough conversations. And avoiding tough conversations with themselves, avoiding tough conversations with their team members, avoiding tough conversations with their clients. And it's like, some of my clients are like, yeah, I think, but I have to make so many calls. I'm like, yeah. Like you have to do more now than you did.
Yes.
The reason why we're talking so much about virtual assistants and things like that is because it's taking longer, right? The reason we're saying, hey, you need to ask questions before we go to a listing appointment is because it's different now. So you've got to just embrace it and then have those tough conversations early on. I think is a huge part. And I mean, how often do you see agents that are not having the conversation with their clients?
Well, and again, kind of what you alluded to, where like if you came in post-COVID, or if you came in like 21, 22, it was even more artificially inflated than it had been before.
Yeah.
And so and it's human nature. What is it? The Dunning-Kruger effect or whatever, where you think you're better than you are.
Yes.
And then if you didn't have any external indicators that might not be true.
Yeah.
You came in 2021 where it's literally, you
just throw it out there.
You throw it out there and you have over asking by 9 p.m. Okay, well, you might think you're really good.
Yes.
And the odds are you're probably not.
You're probably not.
You're probably not.
No.
And then you have the veterans or the seasoned agents that have been doing it for a long time. But even then, human nature, you can get drawn into.
Yeah.
But the worst part is the client, the seller.
Yes. Yeah.
They're the ones that are like, well, no, it's like this.
Yeah.
It's the standard joke. Like Zillow says it's worth,
oh my gosh,
890,000.
Yes.
And it's like that leads.
Well, and exactly leads right into like, I'm so confused. Like, so many people are like, I just don't know what to do, or we just don't get it. It's like, you probably do.
Yes.
Are you really confused, or are you not
like
wanting to embrace reality?
Yeah.
They're like, I just don't know what to do to get a listing. It's like, talk to more people. They're like, well, I don't know how to do that. It's like, well, figure it out. Like, worst case scenario, go to Target.
Right.
Right. I'm not saying that's the best way, but like you can figure out a way to do the gas station routine, right? Talk to everybody at the gas pumps, right? Like, so many people are pretending to be confused when really it's just they're resisting.
Yeah. What goes back to the resentment resistant. And then because it's human nature to avoid pain.
Yeah.
And anything I can do to delay the inevitable is usually what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Or historically, that now I not so much, but I'm getting better.
Yeah.
But staying in confusion also is one of those things where, well, if I have too many options, well, then I don't really have to pull the trigger right now.
Well, and I think that's the thing. There's most people are overwhelmed because there is a lot of options, right? And sometimes, you got to say no to a lot of good to say yes to the great. And then at the other time, it's like sometimes you just have to make a choice, then make that the right thing.
Yes.
Right. It's like, what's better, this lead generation or this lead generation? It's like, well, they can both work. You probably just need to pick one and go make it the best for you.
Well, and
that's tough.
There's an element of, well, if I don't pull the trigger, well, then I'm not going to fail.
Right.
And so
absolutely.
So then I can just stay confused.
And if I'm confused, I don't have to take responsibility for not taking action. I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah. It was like, there was just so much going on.
Right.
I just got so much going on.
Yeah.
Which is that crazy matrix of, are you busy or are you just frantic?
So this is a great story, and I will not say who it was, but yesterday I was doing a coaching call with the client, and she's like, well, her effectiveness and efficiency is not great. Like, it's good. She's getting a lot done, right? More than most people, but it's still not great, right? And she goes, yeah, but I'm okay. Like, I'm getting by. And I was like, if I gave you $1,000, but because you only needed 700, I just burned the other 300, would you be okay with that? That's what your lack of effectiveness and efficiency is actually looking like. Just because you only need 700 doesn't mean we're okay with just lighting the other 300 on fire. And that's what her lack of effectiveness and efficiency is, right? Because she's not doing it in a great way. So
my biggest thing with a lot of that too is patience.
Yeah.
And so it becomes weighing the options but not having patience. And so I usually have like an accelerant where I want to throw the fire, something on the fire just to figure out like, well, if it's going to fail, let's make it fail under my conditions.
Yeah, let's just do it. Yeah,
so then it's predictable and quote unquote manageable, even though if I were to get outside help or like the whole thing of the next one, try to do it all on your own.
Yes.
That was me forever.
Absolutely.
And like there, even like when I'm talking to my investors or what, and it's like, I realized, like, because I mean, oh my God, dude, I think whenever we first started the show, like whenever 18 months ago or whatever, I was in the process of getting my ass kicked by the forensic CPA.
Yes, yeah.
And I look back and it's like, I still hate everything about that universe.
Absolutely.
And it was full circle over the last, say, month or so where I realized, oh my God, I was doing everything from chief cook and bottle wash to everything, where it's make the stuff, shoot the stuff, make the stuff, deliver the stuff, invoice, do the business, do the marketing. And then this never ending cycle. It's like for 7 or 8 years I did, well, actually until Cruz came along 4.5 years ago, I literally did everything. Yeah. And then I brought him in. Yes. And now it's like, okay, now there's a junior version of me. And now he does a version of what I do, but then I do everything now for two people.
Yeah. There you go.
And it just became this like, it was like the perpetual motion machine.
Yes.
Where there was never any way to get off. And then I would beat myself. I don't know if you've ever done this, but it was like, I would beat myself up for not knowing shit that I couldn't have possibly known.
Right. Yeah. Then you go back like, I can't believe I touched that stove. Well, you didn't know what a stove was. Right.
Right.
So, but yes. Yeah.
And so the whole thing of delegate or bringing people in.
Yes.
And then that is also for me, and I assume this is probably also human nature, where I got to a place where my ego / humility or whatever got calibrated enough to where I could bring in people better than me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Because, you know, at least for me, the knee-jerk reaction was like, well, if I bring in people and they're under me,
right,
and I'm always Mr. Impressive or whatever, well, then that's easier to handle.
Yeah,
and then I'm not feeling like I'm threatened.
Correct.
When in reality, it's like, oh no, if you bring in somebody better than you, all of a sudden, here's a whole gigantic vertical of bullshit you don't have to deal with anymore.
Yes,
or
absolutely.
at the very least, you deal with it in the abstract versus like, you having to have your hands in it. And that was learned behavior.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that something you're able to teach people, or do you kind of like watch them bump into stuff?
Yeah, I think you can teach that. I think you can teach leverage, and it really comes from awareness, I think. You know, like the awareness, they're practicing a little bit, and then figuring out, like, for each person, they have a different reason why they're resistant on it. So kind of figuring out what that is. And I mean, a lot of people are resistant on it. An interesting reason some people are resistant on it is because they think leverage is like hot potato. So the thing is like, okay, just do this thing. And then when that person drops the ball, they're like, oh, see, that didn't work. And they feel like a control freak.
Now you got to take
and I'm
it
like,
back.
you're not a control freak. You just have a really shitty way of handing off the baby. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't just chuck the baby and run, right? It's like, I'm going to, right? So most people, they feel like a control freak. And it's like, no, you just need to have a way to like make sure it's actually, they need a scorecard or a panel.
That's one of the beautiful things about, like, you know, bringing in, you know, Tanner coming in as a partner, where it's like, he's actually good. I'm the ready, fire, aim guy.
Yes.
And then figure like, did we get it? Did we hit the target? Shoot it, you know, pull the trigger again. Or like this morning. So like right now they're at Ebby Prosper doing this day 2 of the video workshop. And dude, like, it was so cool the day before yesterday, watching him do his thing and do the workshop. Yeah. He kicked ass.
That's amazing.
And to see that and to realize like, oh my God, you know, previously, even as recent as earlier this year, I would bring Cruz with me, and we would just do the dog and pony.
Right.
And it was like this never-ending cycle of the dog and pony would blow up the calendar with work, and then it'd be overwhelming, and then it's like, oh, too many moving parts. And so just to be able to offload some of that, and then to offload it to somebody that's better than you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, that is a game changer.
It's beautiful.
Where it's like, okay, not only do I not have to worry about that anymore, I can now promote it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've had people that have this experience where you almost get gun shy to put yourself out there because, okay, it just feeds the beast.
Unconsciously pulling the handbrake. And you look back like, when did I stop doing that? But like you unconsciously kind of slowed the train down. Yeah. And then all of a sudden 3 months later, you're like, why don't I have any business? It's like, oh, it's because I pulled the handbrake, 2.5 months ago when I felt overwhelmed.
Yes. And that is, again, it's subconscious, but what you said, awareness. Yeah. The fact that, okay, we can go out on the road, do the dog and pony. Yes. The calendar explodes for 15 days. Right. It's overwhelming. And then what? Oh, and then we freak out because nothing's happening.
Absolutely.
Well, but you've already been to that venue.
Right.
And so that's exhausted. So now, and then, of course, too, my follow-ups not been perfect. So.
Well, I mean, there we go. All right, to put a bow on this.
Yes.
Here's the action items I would give you. Resistance and resentment. Listen to yourself whenever you're saying, I shouldn't have to, or I shouldn't this, or it's not fair, or man, I'm so sorry. Like, listen to that language, and when you hear yourself saying, oh, I shouldn't have to put this back in the market, or I shouldn't have to, but like, that's when you know you're resisting and resenting a little bit, and just, what do I need to accept? The other thing,
like, to that exact thing is like, what expectation is driving the bus off the cliff?
Yes,
absolutely. Because that's the thing. If you're realistic from the start, then odds are you're not going to do any of that.
Yes.
But yeah, easier said than done.
Yeah.
And then you come in with a certain expectation, or even worse, where you're not only resisting, you make a promise that you're guaranteed to underdeliver.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, or like you said, or like look for patterns. Like, I'm consistently frustrated. I'm not blank. I'm like, okay, what's my DNA?
Yes,
what's my part in making that reality?
That's your whole like accountability.
Yes,
that is huge. Yeah, and then it was weird too. There's a paradoxical thing of the more that I'm accountable for. Yes, like, the CPA. Like, oh my God, like we're on a call with the CPA like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or whatever, and she's like, and then and Tanner's asking like super legit badass questions or whatever, and she goes, yeah, it's on that PDF that I'm like, yeah, I never looked at that.
Yeah, no. I remember I told you the story before, but I asked my financial coach what book I should to read about money. And he's like, let's start with reading your P&L. Like, let's start with reading that before we pretend to go get more knowledge.
Yeah.
I love tough conversations. So ask yourself the question, especially if you're running a team, what would I say to my team members if I wasn't worried about any fallback, right? Like, am I saying out loud what's in my head? Same thing with your sellers. Like, have you ever walked out of a listing appointment and gone like, that's never going to sell at that price? But like, did I articulate that to them?
Yes.
Right? So it's like, in my head, I remember one of my coaches years ago, Tony DeCello, and he said something to the effect of, am I saying to them what I'm saying about them in my head? Right?
Ooh.
Like, so if I've got a client, I'm like, ooh, that's not going to work. Like, I need to say that, right? Or you say, hey, in my perception, I'm worried about this, but am I doing it? And then if you're worried about conversation with yourself, go for a 2-hour walk without your phone and just figure out what comes out.
And to tie it back into the AI mastermind, I use chat for like a de facto therapist.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so like, dude, I have found in the last 6 weeks a couple of blind spots that I was completely unaware of. And like there, I'm literally just doing talk to text. And then I'll hit it, and then I'll say, like, from the POV of a clinical PhD psychologist or whatever, expert in business management or mindset, diagnose like, what am I missing here, or why does this piss me off?
What are my blind spots?
And boy, that's a
it's so helpful. So helpful. Yeah.
But you have to be willing to like actually, it's like you can't sugarcoat it. It's exactly what you said.
Correct.
You can't tell it the bullshit you're telling the client.
Yeah, the output's only as good as the input. So, and that's what I tell my clients. I'm like, when we talk about coaching is a co-dance, meaning like it's not a one-way conversation. Like we got to do this thing together. And what makes me probably more frustrated than anything is when I find out something that I wish they would have told me 6 months ago. And they're like, oh, well, I had a really hard, either whatever it is. I'm like, this is what we're here for. Let's have these, let's have these conversations. Number 3, staying in confusion. Like, where am I pretending not? What am I pretending not to know? Am I pretending not to know? I just need to make more phone calls.
Ouch.
Am I pretending not to know that I'm taking overpriced listings? Like right now, there's a price you can justify, and the price is actually going to sell at.
Well, I love what you said about like, am I telling them what I'm thinking about them in my head? Because the idea of, I'd done it before, back in my previous life as a mortgage guy, where you get everything, and it's like, well, I don't have a deal. So I take a deal to have a deal.
Yes. Ugh. Well, and right now I would do this. Every listing you take, write out a $3,000 check every time, and go like, hey, am I willing to bet this $3,000 check that this is going to sell in the next 2 weeks? And if you wouldn't write that $3,000 check, you probably either shouldn't take the listing, or you need to have a different conversation, because every listing is costing you at least $3,000. And there's way too many people that are taking listings, unconsciously writing $3,000 checks, and there ain't no way it's going to sell in the next 3 or 4 weeks, whatever that needs to be. So I think that's a big one. Get out of confusion. Anytime you hear yourself saying, I don't know, it's like, pause. Talk it out with ChatGPT.
Yeah,
call your coach. You might.
Yeah, you probably
do. Yeah. Yep. And then, man, do it on your own. Start making that list of do not do's. What are the things I would love to not do? Or if you're running a team or an organization, one of my favorite things to have my clients do is write an org chart 1 year from now. What would you love, without any names? Right. What would I love my my business to look like a year from now? Don't have any, if you try to write names of like who's going to do what, like, but just get a vision of like, hey, here's what I would love. My life would be badass, and include on there the guy that does the yard, include on there maybe the housekeeper, include on there the bookkeeper, right? All of these people, the therapist, would be like, what's your life and business org chart need to look like for you to go, this is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, dude, I so need to do that.
Yes.
See, build a studio, have a show.
There we go. Dude, you're awesome.
Dude, okay, so then finish us out with mindset, skill set, and effort.
Man, I think you can have anything you want in life when you get your mindset, your skill set, and then you take action, right? Like, it comes down to what's my mindset, getting your head in the right place. So if there's anything you're not getting, like, so let's just talk about money. My mindset around money was messed up.
Same.
Right, and I'm still working on that because it's really ingrained.
And it also hits
that.
like some sort of lizard brain.
Yes, I call it Midwest syndrome. Right, I got Midwest money syndrome. Right, but like is my mindset in the right place? And then it's like, okay, well, I wanted to work on my mindset. Then I got to go get skill. Part of the reason I was afraid of money in a sense is because I just didn't have the skills. I didn't know. I was like, talk to me like I'm in third grade and teach me how to go through a P&L, right? I just didn't have the skill to be good at it, right?
I still don't want to look.
And then you just got to take action. So right now, if there's anything you don't have, it comes down to is where's my mindset? Am I skilling up in this area? And then am I just out there taking action?
The effort thing is almost the missing piece that a lot of folks don't actually look at from the standpoint of it has absolutely been the biggest movement generator in everything I've ever done.
Yeah.
Just from the simple fact of like suit up and show up.
Yeah.
And then take it from there. But like Ashley and I, Winning Women's Wednesday, Ashley and I often say like, yeah, we went to the thing and then that spider webbed out 7 years later, came all the way back around the barn.
Yep.
And if I hadn't been there then, this connective tissue would not exist now. But if I had been like, well, why do I want to go to that? Or that's bullshit or whatever. Well, then you would never know that, you know, because it was like I would tell.
It's like you had to get on the field, then you had to swing. Right,
yes.
So like getting on the field is not enough.
Yes.
Getting on the field and taking the swings is a big part.
And
of it.
I would tell my guys too, whenever like they would get upset or frustrated or, you know, resentful at client X or whatever. It's like, okay, well, the move is not to win the argument right now and bury them because technically you could be right.
Yeah.
However, you don't know how much that is going to poison the well, and nobody will ever call you 18 months from now and go like, hey, I just wanted to give you the running list of jobs you didn't get.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
you know? And so the idea of suit up, show up, do whatever you can, and then what like the whole reflection and intention thing where it's like, okay.
Absolutely, like intentionality, action, and then reflection is so huge. And most people, most people are just taking action, let alone being intentional and then reflecting. So,
and I can say without a doubt, I am so grateful now that I just didn't quit.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like the vast majority of everything that we do, everything that is happening now is because I just didn't quit.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if that's because I have the stamina to eat more shit sandwiches than everybody else. Yeah. But, you know, like, I'll close it out with this. You know, like a week ago, we're doing the CPA thing, and it's like I realized, holy shit, almost everybody that I know that has like an established, you know, family, work, balance or whatever, wouldn't have been able to eat this shit. So all of a sudden I had this sense of gratitude of like, wow, okay, I've been a workaholic bachelor because like, you know, whatever isms I had translated into workaholism. And then I just didn't quit. Yeah. Partly because, if I'm to be honest, I didn't have anything better to do.
Well, but you could have figured something else out. You could have given up way long ago. Yes.
But the fact of just showing up is really more than half the battle.
It really is.
And then not burning any bridges.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yep. Dude, let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Fired up. Take action.
I'm fired up, and we're going to circle back on that 1 hour.
I'm excited to go back to the rest of. We got some really good stuff for next week. It's gonna be great.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
And